time is so important.
So important.
As in
life.
I want to very clarify that mental health is not the same as having mental issues. Or It's not. It's mental health. Everybody needs to have good mental health.
Yeah.
And second year, which is normally when like you run
gets harder,
is such a jump from first year. So if you're running a committee on the side of that, your mental capacity starts to
stretched.
To make sure that you're taking care of your mental.
You have to. I think first of all, if you're an introverted person, that's how you recharge anyway. So if you like someone like I can't be the best version of myself if I don't have time to like recharge myself by myself. So think of something that you like to do that is just you, that makes you feel better, that makes you feel re-energized. And I think really importantly with me time as well, me time is not necessarily watching a movie or scrolling on your phone. I don't think that helps. I think that's me time needs to be something where you're not processing information. So me time needs to be something where you're letting everything go. So if you do music, that's great, release, or you dance, you go work out or something that's a release, not something that is. To me time is not me being on my laptop, or I don't even want to see a screen when I'm doing
or just some candles,
like, do you know what I mean? Just chill out, listen to music,
wow. You know?
Yeah, why not? But it's important to take care of your mental health and make sure that you're healthy. Everyone knows when they're overworking, when your thought patterns are not all the way correct, make sure that you take time to pause. It's so important, otherwise you'll be running ragged and you'll be exhausted. When you're exhausted, you cannot feed anybody else, you can't be of good service to anybody else if you're tired.
You cannot give to somebody if you are empty.
You can't. Make sure that you are resting, make sure that you are eating properly, even make sure you're sleeping. And I think if you do those tips, that make sure you're organized, having good time management, delegating to who you need to, all of that kind of stuff, it will make it not overwhelming, because I think a lot of the stress comes from feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes you get overwhelmed not necessarily because of what you're doing, because of what you think you have to do and what you're thinking in your mind. You're working overtime, so definitely set time aside where even if you just turn off your phone and rest, whatever.
Pray, just get in touch. And
you have to rest, whatever, like I said, whatever that works for you. You need to learn how to be still. And if you are struggling with any mental health stuff, or feeling just exhausted or overwhelmed, or just not positive, or very tired, not having positive thought patterns, definitely go and see someone at university. They'll have counselling or therapy. They do a lot of cognitive behaviour therapy at my uni, which is basically just identifying what it is that stresses you out and then giving you tools to combat that. So if you're someone who gets anxious, kind of identify, okay, so why do I get anxious? Why does this make me anxious? Why do I feel like this? And then kind of unpacking that. So if you ever need that kind of help, make sure you get it. There's no shame in that. Next tip is to have some kind of steady routine, and I think from all of the stuff we've talked about, having something in place that is steady is a godsend. Knowing that on Mondays at 4 I do this, on Wednesdays at 3 I need to start doing this, instead of just, for me, knowing things like that, we're not in a kind of a stuck fixed way, but having some kind of plan, I think, helps you know that there's a place for everything. You know that there's a time for everything, so you're not thinking all the time, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. You know that I will do this at this day on this time, so I don't need to think about that yet. So I think having a steady routine is crucial. I'm somebody who works best in structure, but I just didn't always know how to kind of create that for myself. And so if you are struggling with doing stuff or feeling like everything is a mess and you can't really kind of pinpoint what you need to be doing and when, create some kind of structure for yourself. Really sit down and create some kind of structure for yourself.
And you have to stick by it. At the end of the day, it's only you that will know if you've done it and you haven't done it. So don't cheat yourself. I started big and I worked small, and now it's I've now planned my whole 2018 because that's what works for me now. Before, I was quite spontaneous, cool, let's see how it goes. I'll do what I do.
Just don't let things run rampant and out of control. Try and control things around you as much as the things you can control. Obviously, you can't control everything. The things you can control, your own kind of discipline, your own motivation, your own time management. It can be so hard, but try and get it under control and make sure you do the things that you want to do in the day, so that you don't go to sleep with another burden on your mind. The next thing is communication. This is so crucial because you need to practice how to deliver a message that is not offensive and that is not rude, and that will keep you in your society. And after, remember, the society is only either a term or a year. So I was in it for a year, you were in it for a year. After that year ends, you go back to your normal life and you still have to deal with people. So make sure that you learn how to deliver messages.
I mean, I used to say in our meetings, whatever problems you have, say it, because I don't want to hear things in the streets. Or outside. I want you to tell me that if you feel like I'm not being fair or I'm not doing this, you should say it, and that should be implemented from early on, because those problems do fester.
So definitely make sure that you learn how to communicate. And I think sometimes people are like, I say it how it is, I say what, and you have to learn how to say it better because you're saying it, people need to still receive that information, and that's not to say that you have to be passive or you have to be, someone who people pleaser. No, there's a way to communicate that is fair and honest and direct, but not offensive. And if someone chooses to be offended by what you said, that's up to them. But you yourself, you do not have to be offensive in delivering your message. I don't believe in that. So make sure that
ever stoop to anybody.
No. So make sure that you learn the habit of communicating well. It's gonna help you when you get a job. It's gonna help you so much when you get a job. So learn that and discipline yourself to not just lash out and say everything that is on your mind. If you're angry, it's really important.
Especially if you're a shady person.
Oof. And another thing we'd say as well is to make sure that you know how to make a good decision and a final decision. You cannot pass the buck if you're a leader in a society. When you make that decision, you make the decision and you stick to it, you see it through to the end. It's not now that you're flip-flopping. Think it through to the end and then make a decision. Don't be a dictator, consult with your team, of course, but if you're a president of society, you make the decision and the buck stops with you. Make sure the team's on board in as much as you possibly can. Obviously, there's not going to be everything that's 100% for everybody all the time, but make sure the team is on board with your leadership and what you're doing, and be clear about your plans and what you're doing. But make sure that you make decisions, because the worst thing of what a leader can do is be unsure, because then everyone's like, okay, so what are we doing?
And don't ever forget what you actually went into the society to do.
What is your mission? So guys, those are our top tips for basically surviving, running society, or things to think about before you get into a society at university. Literally, it can be like another course that you're doing. It sometimes feels like that. It's not all
free entry into
raves. It's really not. And
discounted.
I had a great time overall, but that's not to, sometimes things can be hard and you can still enjoy them. But if I knew now what I know then, I think I would have just been a member of the society. I don't think I would have been on the leadership of that particular society. Not because I didn't have a good time. I still am friends with every single person that was on there that I was friends with before, and we did have a good time, but it did take out of my degree, particularly because we both had jobs. Like I had 2 jobs as well as studying, as well as being on that society and involved in another society as well.
I had to put my own business on hold. So I'm a makeup artist, so I had to put that on hold because I had to work, do ACS and do my studies. And looking back, I would have done it again. I just would have done certain things differently early on.
So guys, thank you so much for watching this week's video. Hopefully you got some tips if you're thinking about running a society or being involved in a society. It is good fun, but it's hard work, so prepare your mind for it. Like, actually be genuinely prepared for it and be on your job and be on your time. And hopefully these tips have helped you today. We both had interesting experiences, but I think we both have learned from it, and I think it's been able to help both of us in the future, in what we are doing in the future. So
definitely already, like, the skills that I've had, the connections that I've made, the networking and so on and so forth, have presented me with so many great opportunities. So it's worth it.
And it is what you make it. It is what you make it. So do whatever you came to do in that place. But that's it for this week. So thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. You are going to be creating your own YouTube channel. You want to tell people about it?
So I'm going to be creating a lifestyle sort of situation with vlogs and beauties.
As you can tell, maybe she likes makeup. I don't know.
Hate. Anyway, I'm going to be having like some vlogs, some lifestyle, some stories. I mean, you'll probably hear some of my ACS stories on there as well.
Yeah, I'll be going on her, but it won't be in a professional.
It won't be professional.
I'll be turning up. So when it opens.
Yeah, when it opens, she'll say it, but it'll be called D Chartade, spelled CHARTADE.
Great. So yeah, we'll be doing some more collaborations. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you have any questions, email me at stayinguponit@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Everything is at stayinguponit. And if you go on YouTube and search Staying Up On It or Up On It, the video should pop up. And we will see you guys next week. Remember to stay up on it. Bye guys.
Like, comment and subscribe.
That too. Bye guys.
Bye.